It's actually a tiny cabin that stacks up in the back of my Jeep Cherokee. I built these wood panels. I can take it wherever I want to camp and put them together to make this cabin. No tools needed. I've got a wood stove in here, so it's awesome for winter camping. On this day, I had my first visitors checking it out, and I also got a visit from the park ranger too. I also found a video of someone else's version of a cabin with a similar concept from even before my first video that I'll show you in a few minutes. My cabin has been taking me around an hour to set up. About half of that is getting everything out and leveling the floor panels. The other half is standing up and connecting the wall panels and putting the roof on top. This was a perfect day last October. High temperature was around 70 and the low around 40 with no wind. Here I am at one of the first campsites as you enter Sand Flats Recreation Area, just a few hundred yards from the Slick Rock trailhead. I was in the middle of a 5-day road trip and was one of my earlier camps, getting more experience with this cabin and learning more about having a wood stove in here. Since then, I took it out a few more times in the snow last winter, which are some of the recent videos on this channel. The next night, which will be the next video, I got lulled into thinking that there wouldn't be any wind, and I got caught in the middle of the night scrambling to keep the roof on. I've camped out here around Moab probably around 200 nights over the past 30-something years. I have been here on lots of windy days and a few sandstorms, but I usually try to time my trips when the weather looks best, just like this. People climb up on top of rocks all over the place for sunrises and sunsets here. The sun's gone behind the rim. 51 degrees right now. Here's dinner, bread, peanut butter, stick. Still on. Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn the headlamp off. 7:30. I started this fire, I think around 2, and that it didn't last very long. But then around 5, I threw a couple bigger 2x6s in there, and they're still going. That'll be the last wood that I put in there today, but it's keeping it nice and warm in here. I need some hot chocolate. A little bit hot. It's real sandy outside, so every time I walk in, I track in a bunch of sand. The sun is hitting the other side of the valley right now. Depending on the time of year, I pick my campsites up here on whether I want morning sun or evening sun. On cold days, I prefer to be on the east side of these rocks so that the sun hits me earlier in the morning, especially if I'm trying to do an early morning bike ride. And in the hotter days, I also like being on the east side of the rocks so that it cools off as the sun's setting. You get into the shade earlier there. I've camped in many different of the campsites here. I definitely have a few favorites that I try to catch, and a lot of times I'll come early in the week just to try to get one of my favorite campsites. Other times I come out a day or two before my friends do to make sure we have a campsite. Really just a one. A park ranger came by to check out the cabin. He was super cool and was fine with me setting it up here, at least this cabin, and at least this time. I can imagine that a different version of the cabin, making too much noise setting it up, a different day, a different park ranger, or a different campground, something like this might not always be welcome.
I'm glad I stopped by then.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Bye, Steve. I'll talk to you later.
In this video, and probably the next two videos, which are the last 2 days from this road trip, my bed is still up high at desk level, but this past winter I made some legs so that my bed is at couch level, which you might have seen in some of my more recent camps. Also, in my more recent camps, I now have a cool little kitchen table / nightstand that I use with these taller legs, and I still have the option for one of my 2 desk setups if I need to get some work done. That's a universal clevis pin that's got multiple holes in it, and this cotter pin just sticks in there. That's how all of these panels are held together. Besides the time it takes to pack up all my camping gear, it only takes about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how close my car is, to actually disassemble and load up all of the cabin panels. How's it going? Thanks.
Hi, I'm curious person number 7. It's like, did they put a new bathroom up?
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like
This is
a model home.
Yeah, we left on a ride and it wasn't here, and we came back and it's like,
Yeah,
was
I
that
know.
a wooden shack there before?
Take a peek inside.
So who's the owner? That's
me.
you?
I just last fall, I woke up in the middle of the night, measured my car, trying to figure out how much space could fit in, and
Yeah, super cool though. I like it. It's easy to look at. It's not like, oh, look what somebody brought out here.
I wanted it to look like an old mining shack, or it does look like the porta potties out here.
Yeah, you don't see this every day. Amazing, yeah.
I fold the passenger seat down and begin loading the plywood pieces for the bed and tables first, then the 4 roof panels. After that, I put in the 4 taller end wall panels, then all the 2x4s, then the remaining 6 front and back wall panels, and finally the 3 floor panels. That takes up the majority of the space inside my car, with just enough space to put the stove and the rest of my camping gear. I use most of the space in the pod on top of my car too, especially for firewood at the beginning of the trip. I leave just enough space to see the passenger side view mirror, though I can't see if there's a car in my blind spot on the right side. I have to stay in the far right lane so I don't get caught not knowing if somebody is next to me. Otherwise, I have to pass a car and wait and see it appear in my side view mirror far enough back to change back over to the right lane. Where I live, we drive on the right side of the road, and when there's more than one lane in the same direction, the slower cars and trucks usually stay in the right lane, and the faster ones pass in the left lanes. I know in other parts of the world people drive on the left side of the road, but I guess I don't know if slower vehicles stick to the right lane or to the left lane. About a month ago, someone in the comments suggested that I build an A-frame. I liked that idea, and I started experimenting with designs and searched for pictures of A-frames. I went to ski in Chile one year during our summer, their winter, and stayed with a friend who was living in this A-frame while they worked at Termas Station, now Novato Station, for a couple of their winters. That A-frame idea also brought back memories of one of my first ski town jobs at a bar called The Slope, which had bars at different levels inside this A-frame building. It was one of the coolest ski bars that I've ever been, and it has since been demolished and replaced with townhomes. I made a brace that blocks the panels from sliding into my windshield when I have to slow down or stop quickly. I also use some ratchet straps to help prevent the panels from sliding around while I'm driving. While I was designing and building the cabin in this video, I had done many searches on YouTube for portable cabins and every other similar thing I could think of. About 2 weeks ago, and I think as a result of Googling for images of A-frames, YouTube's algorithm finally put this video on my homepage of suggested videos. I took a screenshot of this when I saw it. His cabin is awesome, and it's the first one I've seen that meets what I consider a portable cabin. Well, I'm off to grab a burger in town now, then back to set up the cabin at my next campsite. Let me know what you think. Check out one of these other videos, and I'll catch you next time.